Hi everybody, it's Debra Burgin with HeartfeltInkspiration.com, and I just wanted to spend a minute or two with you today talking about a product that's new in the current mini, and it is the pack of blending brushes. The product number is 153611, and you will find it on page 70 of the mini. There's not very much information here. There's a picture of it. Doesn't look like that when it's new. I'll show you the new ones in a second. And so I'm not the first person to create a video to show you how this works. You can see them all over. But I'm going to do it anyway. So here they are, blending brushes. There are 3 in a pack for $12. The point here is, if you saw this card that I had on the blog last week, this background, the sky and the grass, were created using the blending brushes. So before this mini, I would have been using sponges, and I didn't bring a sponge over here to show you, but the problem with sponges is we use a wedge of sponge, and you're grabbing it like this, and your fingers are touching the paper, and anyway, you get a blotchy result from sponging unless you just hold it exactly right and use an extraordinarily light touch. You don't have that issue with blending brushes. So here's what the package looks like. Oh, I didn't even open this. Now, I always have trouble with Ziploc bags doing this pinching motion. Oh my, okay, never mind, not opening it. That's what they look like in the package. I'll show you the ones that I used at camp when we did this kangaroo card. They look pretty used. But the cool thing is, now, one of you, you know who I'm referring to, was kind of put off by the feel of this. And I'm telling you, this is like running your fingers over velvet. It's such a tight pile, is what I would call it, and it's just so soft and beautiful. Now, would you expect to see blue on my hands with all the blue that's on here? And yet it doesn't really work that way. So let me just show you a couple of things. Okay, so on that card we used Old Olive for the grass. And basically you're just going to take your brush, and even though it's got this really nice handle, I can't imagine really having much control if you hold it down here, unless you're like wanting to create some kind of a percussive sound. So I like to hold it like this so I can sort of control the pressure. Okay, so all I did was just rub this on the ink pad, and I'll just show it to you here. Okay, I get a blob when I start because that's where my ink was. So it's a good idea to do it on your grid paper first. But here you can see just an incredibly light and not blotchy application. So again, I'm going to load this up. I'm just going to brush over here to make sure I don't get a blob. And just pretending that I'm making the same card, I'm just going to use circular motions, actually just the same way I would if I was using a sponge. Okay, need a little more color? Instead of getting more off the ink pad, I might just press a little harder. There you can see I've got a more concentrated color in here. All right, let's see what the sky looks like. We did the sky in Seaside Spray, just a gorgeous blue. It reminds me of the cabinetry in my old kitchen. And when I think about new cabinets in this kitchen at some future date, I would paint them blue again like this. Okay, so again, here's what I used. Load it up, rub it off, and there's my trademark smudge that I got from my finger. Now, this is such a light color to begin with. And you might think, there's nothing on there. But here's what I say. Put something white against it, and now you see how much color is actually on here. It's kind of remarkable. And again, deepen it. And the beautiful thing about this, and sponging too, is that you don't want it even. If it was even, you'd put a piece of cardstock up there. If you want shading, you're going to concentrate color, and then you're going to fade it away to the edges. Okay, so I probably would put a little more on there. Okay, I will. You don't have to put it on your fingers, but I do. Okay, and so there's the start of this card, or maybe the finishing of the card. Now, what about the care and feeding of these brushes? Again, here, I'll use this clean one. There's not a lot of ink on here. So what you're hearing demonstrators do is that they will assign a color for a brush, and no matter what blue it is or what green it is, this is the brush they use for it. That's what I'm going to start to do as well. Otherwise, you'd end up with a very large number of these brushes. You can wash these, but the other thing that I've heard is to simply take a microfiber cloth. Now, don't be shocked by the color of this. I bought these someplace, and I hate them because they catch, my fingers catch on them. My fingers are so rough because of working with paper all the time, and I hate the way they feel. These are not like my good microfiber Norwex cloths, so these are in the rag basket. Okay, so that's, people say, oh, just rub them on here. But you can see, maybe, there's not any ink coming off on here. Let's see what the green does. So the point is, you don't have to do a lot with these. They're stained, just like sponges, just like, sponges. But it doesn't mean that they're not clean of ink. So the other thing that you're going to be able to do on them is to use a mask or a stencil. So now that I've cleaned that one, I'll load more ink on it. And I just want to say, they're not sponges. They are, let's see if this shows up. They are brushes. They're the most amazing construction here. The fibers, it's just remarkable. They're very cool. Okay, so I'm going to load up my blending brush again, brush off, and now I'm going to do, if I was using, same as if I was using a sponge, rubbing. And the point is that you can apply more color where you want it. And how gorgeous is that for a little background? So again, these are the blending brushes. They are washable, but I'm sure I haven't done that, and I'm sure the stains wouldn't come out. And the point is here that you are going to be able to blend and create ombre effects and that type of thing with this very easy to hold tool, and you don't have to cut your sponges, and you don't have to make little handles for your sponges, etc. So if you want to try something, again, I've told people Stampin' Up! Did not invent these. Other companies use these, but we have them now. So there are the blending brushes. Thank you.